I think against LMQ, our wins have come from early kills that we've gotten against them, and most of the time it's just poor team comps from their part, so we have been able to counteract that and just, for example, stack a lot of armor. In I think 2 games that we won, we did that.
Now the Glacial Fissure in the 3v2, 4v2, coming out of nowhere as Cop throws down the authority with Dominate on Elise.
We just have to not let them get our control and not give them early kills, and then we should be able to get a win.
Welcome back to week 11 of the North American LCS Summer Split. In our 5th game of the day, it's going to be Team Curse versus LMQ and Jet. LMQ are on the cusp of locking up a first-place finish to cap off their first split in North American LCS. It's not too shabby.
Not too shabby indeed, and they looked very impressive yesterday, grabbing their 4th win against TSM on the year, and they are really letting their play speak for them. And you always have to tip your hat when there is a pentakill in the LCS. Vasilii got one very early yesterday, 23 minutes into the game on Tristana. And if they do lock in the top spot, I don't expect we'll see them letting off the gas. It's not a team that takes games lightly, but it may give them some freedom to experiment and try some new things.
And points for my fantasy team. Thanks, Vasilii. And while lying in wait for them are Curse, who are 2-1 against the LMQ powerhouse this split. And they'll be feeling very good after a commanding win today against Dignitas.
And damn, Curse looked so decisive against Dignitas today, taking every objective and denying even a single turret. Also, Voyboy again surprised in Champ Select with the very first ever talent pick in the North American LCS. And for this match, Curse is also a team that reacts very well to what teams do. That's especially effective against LMQ because LMQ continues to try those high-risk, high-reward plays game in, game out. And if they come up short, then Curse gets to capitalize. That's one of the big reasons they're 2-1 against LMQ this year.
That's right. Let's get right into this one and check out the starting lineups. Spawning on the blue side, it's going to be Curse. That's Quas in the top lane, IWillDominate in the jungle, Voyboy in mid, Cop at AD carry, and Xpecial at support.
And on the red side, it is LMQ with Ackerman in the top lane, NoName in the jungle, XiaoWeiXiao in the mid lane, Vasilii leaning forward on AD carry, and more on support.
Definitely going to be a heated matchup in just about every lane. We have the mid lane, XiaoWeiXiao going versus Voyboy, who's been bringing out a variety of different champions. And XiaoWeiXiao's been kind of holding on to those, I'm going to just be able to kill my lane or control the game champions. So I'm excited to see what comes out from there and what's going to happen with this Cop versus Vasilii matchup.
True, because Cop has been playing so much better lately.
Yep.
Especially when he plays Corki, which is more likely with the current AD carry landscape that we've been seeing now with Lucian out of the picture. It's a Kog'Maw on Trist. Because of the nature of this matchup, there's a very high chance we see a Trist ban. And then whether or not we see a Cogman ban to go along with it or a quick Vasilii Kog'Maw pick, we could very well be seeing Cop on Corki yet again.
Not something he hates. Still have the LCS big play of him soloing out double lift on Jinx with that one. So he knows he can play it to the highest of his ability, and that means comfort level for Cop. I feel like if he's not in that comfort zone, there's a lot of his plays where you'll kind of see him just walk back and forth in a fight a few times, and those 4 steps are 4 auto attacks of damage he's not doing. So hopefully that Curse themselves can get that bottom lane going. And then we see Quas in the top lane. He's also been a good variable for Curse. When he gets going, it seems like he can control the entire map or a lane and the inhibitor by himself.
Maokai's going to be an incredibly huge decider in this one. And we were talking yesterday, actually, about playoff implications as far as Curse concerns and what a strange team they are.
Right.
Because every time we're just like, all right, Curse has turned a corner, it's because they've beaten teams above them, and they say they just got to take care of business against EG and Complexity. And their last 2 games against both of those teams, they've been 0-2. And then they jump right back there by beating better teams. And they're in the most peculiar situation now where they have to win their way into the playoffs by beating teams that are better than them. But it hasn't been a problem for Curse in the past.
Well, I'll definitely give them the momentum they need once they get it and get into those final games if they are able to beat these top-tier teams. LMQ right now sitting right at the very top of the list with a cherry on top from the way they've been playing. A lot of pro teams thought they'd be middle of the pack, but they had different things in mind after the season started. Cassidy getting banned out. Twisted Fate been used by XiaoWeiXiao within the past few weeks, if you skip last week, and it was very deadly. Too much map control for LMQ to have.
It's a lot of playmaking potential as well as for LMQ, which is something Curse wants to be able to limit in this pick ban. They're really just eliminating the playmaking champions from LMQ. Maybe they're hoping LMQ does something cheeky like a Pantheon pick again against them. That's one of the ways Curse picked up one of those early victories against LMQ.
LMQ 8-9 in the last games, only lost 1. Playing very strong and keeping things consistent. Picks and bans are usually something they kind of don't worry about, but they can always come out strong no matter what people ban against them. So they don't have to stress that much.
They have incredibly deep champion pools. I was talking with Zyrene yesterday just about, especially when LMQ is blue side, how ridiculously threatening they are. Because you ban away the really... Oh, man. All right, so Curse gets Trist. That's actually really huge. But just against LMQ, because they have so many priority champions, like, look at the things that aren't banned right now. They can go Lulu Yasuo because Curse decided to pick Tristana.
That's true. They usually could go Yasuo.
Two of their favorite champions.
Deny that from Voyboy with the knock-up coming in. But also, we have a Tristana here. This could be Voyboy's.
Flex pick for Curse.
Yeah, right.
One of the few teams that can boast that.
We'll see if LMQ remembers that. The picks for Voyboy, he hasn't faced any of those in mid. Last time he played against Link, Link was saying, I can't do much with Orianna versus this Trist. But right now, we're not seeing any of that. It's the Lulu and Janna hover right now. They could be considering. Ackerman's making quite a bit of talk.
Wouldn't hover Jan and then not pick it? Oh, they would. Too bad.
Oh, they wouldn't. They do grab the Elise, and that's going to be a lock-in of the Lulu.
There's a chance we'll see Janna come back into play with the 4.13 patch. She had some nice buffs to the Tornado Knockup and the range of her passive. But that's for another week. Potentially the European playoffs. They are always the first to break out new champions. The Elise and the Lulu, however, good picks that are also used to deny Curse. I mean, Quas has been playing so much Lulu in his recent games to much success. And of course, the Elise is one of the favorites of IWillDominate as well.
Yeah, this Eve ban out very good also. I like it. Might see this blood-boiled Tristana running around with a bit more power for that early game on these objective runs. Nunu players, I gotta say, usually you'd see a Nunu coming out as kind of a last resort, but they've fared well. Junglers on Nunu usually get the ground they want in the beginning of the game and they can push advantages. See if Dominate can hold the same.
Ooh, wow. They're valuing Braum here above the Maokai. They could put together a rather wicked-looking composition that is like a giant front line with some cannons in the back if they end up going Maokai top lane. But they don't need to lock it in now because they're pretty sure that that was a Lulu top. Will they get mind-gamed here? Or is XiaoWeiXiao just playing his normal champ select? Spam a different button game.
Definitely going to need a disengage, something that says, get out of my face with that Nunu. You can do that with a Tidal Wave or a Soul Shackle, Dark Binding, however you see fit. So they do get a bit of that disengage or catch potential for themselves. A lot of long range coming out of LMQ right now.
Morgana Kog'Maw lane is lethal, as was proven by Cloud9 today with Sneaky Elimination just zoning out TSM in one of our earlier matches. And this would line up pretty well for a Cop Jinx or a Cop Corki if they do end up going with that double AD composition. I think the logical thing for Curse here would be Maokai Corki, but we shall see if they actually decide to let Cop play Trist. Nope. Maokai Corki.
Wow, the crystal ball is pretty clean today.
Whoa! It's almost like Maokai's getting picked every game or something. He's in the top lane to go against Lulu this time.
Locking it in. So we see the full AD composition again coming from Curse. They have been using this quite a bit. No more mistake picks from them. They transfer back over to that. They already played the AD composition today with a Talon in the mid lane. So it's nothing really new for the composition and the build that they're going to be going with. See what more has to select. Looking for a mid laner. XiaoWeiXiao still has that Yasuo to go after. They could have AD facing off against each other in that mid lane.
He's perplexed right now. Yasuo and Ori, both good choices against double AD. Or would they do something more sinister? Yeah, if they did this, they'd move Lulu to mid. Probably. You never know. We've seen mid lane Gragas from a few regions. Wow. I forgot about that guy. He's so often first picked. But because all the priority top laners were just kind of left up, they get to do what they want. Yeah, they're moving Lulu to mid lane. Fascinating right here. That's actually going to be really good against the Trist in the mid lane. Yeah. Because he can shield after he gets hit by Harass and win almost every trade, since the Tristana Harass is a damage over time ability.
Looking at these lanes, going to be pretty difficult for Curse to get some ganks, so I'm figuring Dominate might want to be a menace in the jungle, as he has been lately. The Eve play has been in the face of every one of his opponents. This time on Nunu, he could do that even more with buff control. See if he gets that into play early. LMQ, bit of that late game coming in with Kog'Maw, and they just have this essence to control a game anyway. So I'm interested to see how Curse kind of gets through that lull of not having too much damage on their 80 carries, and then gets to that late game where LMQ has that Kog'Maw. Let's check where the fan vote stands as we get into this matchup right here. According to LOLesports.com, we voted, and 69% of you are giving a thumbs up to LMQ right now. But keep those votes coming on Twitter, sending the hashtag CRSWin or LMQWin to @LOLesports. We'll be updating that throughout the game.
Both teams can lock down something with this win. If Chris wins, they guarantee their playoff spot. If LMQ wins, they guarantee the #1 seed in the North American LCS.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy to think they would come through and just kind of dominate out of the Challenger Series. Very Cloud9-esque story. And they just came through and won it. Coming
their way in.
The few of the losses that they had, they knew instantly what those losses were caused from. You know, we deviated in Champion Select, and we did something else here we tried not to. And it's very direct, and they have actually corrected those wrongs.
Every time LMQ gets challenged, or every time they fail and take a small step back, they take an even bigger step forward. They've lost twice to Curse, therefore, they should do very well against them this game.
Absolutely. If history repeats itself, let's go. Game 5, week 11 here. Day 2, lots of numbers, weeks, and we've crossed... Can't believe 11 of them now. It's crazy how fast this split went.
Final weekend of the regular season summer split here for the LCS. Of course, after this, the NA LCS will go on a hiatus while the European playoffs are played out.
Yeah.
So these teams will actually have a large training period in between Super Week and the start of the playoffs to prepare for those best-of-5s they're matched up for.
I'm so excited to see what teams have actually not really been saving, but what they have ready for
what
Worlds.
They come up with, in my opinion. Just
playoffs.
With that much preparation time, they're going completely out of sync from having these 1 week preparation windows, playing 2 different teams, or in a Super Week's case, 4 different teams, to having 2 to 3 weeks to prepare for 1 team in a best-of-5.
Yep.
Should yield some really unique results.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Got to practice as much as possible. I wonder how much they're like, you know, Dig's got 9 hours a day. We're doing 11. Like, back and forth. Be like,
or the balance between practicing too much and burning out, practicing just enough.
It's weird to think of. If you're not actually a pro player, or you play enough to burn yourself out, you're like, man, I'd love to play all day. But there's a point when you actually just start playing bad. And it's not good. You get inside your head and you start considering other things that really aren't affecting the gameplay. Very, very tricky situation to be in. Right now, these guys fresh in the minds of some wins and losses of the early part of the day. And they're going to shake off or use that momentum to get some victories here in Super Week. Like we said, Curse with very big chances in this week. So they're coming in not looking at any games with lackluster importance.
No, it's so important here. And I know the complexity and Evil Geniuses are watching these games with bated breath because their entire playoff future relies on Curse losing out the week. All right, normal jungle start for Dominate and NoName. Dominate, oh no, he's trying to do a quick steal, but they didn't have the right intel on where LMQ began. So he's going to come out empty-handed and have a slow start. NoName actually rushing to his other side of the jungle as well, in fear that Dominate started red and was going to his blue. And that's a lot of wasted time for Dominate. That's too bad.
What will he try to get out of this? Unfortunate, we did see on Dominate's face, he's a little discouraged there. We were talking about that early aggression being something that helped them. Might have hurt him here. Good damage coming from LMQ in the bottom lane, but they're happy with somewhat being pushed into the turret here. Cop and Xpecial try to take a bit of aggression as they usually do in the lane. So we'll see how far behind he is. See, NoName's about to break away from his blue at that 3-minute mark. He's going straight down. Now up.
Now what?
The choices to change direction are incredible.
Yeah, Dominate is set pretty heavily back because of that little maneuver. But NoName still does have to respect what Nunu can do to him.
So nicely placed. He gets that ready for NoName to try and get around behind Dragon in the tri-brush gank. So they're safe from that, and it gives Dominate time now. Does he Does a NuNu get back into the jungle by ganking and trying to get yourself in and harassing NoName, or does he just go for his own and get back on those camps?
NuNu has pretty much more flexibility than any other jungler, so he can do almost whatever he wants here. It appears like Dominate's sticking with the safer plan of just jungling up a little bit. The time lost as far as level break points, there's a chance he'll get level 4'd on a little bit early, but it's not that big of a deal, as long as he can keep tabs on Elise.
There's just no level 6 that NoName's going to get that's making him a lot.
Oh, the timing of the ward death, but
Got a
Voyboy
ping.
did see him. It'll be interesting to see how much he sticks around. The nice thing about Trist is he can always just rocket jump away from a cocoon, and he will not get interrupted out of it by the cocoon. He'll always jump.
Pretty simple lane there. 2 in explosive shot for Voyboy. XiaoWeiXiao only when he goes aggressive, pulling on that shield. Pretty much just taking the harass for now and staying out of range. So very calm lane here. You can see the trade is very even both times. Quillcoat coming in for Dominate as he does get himself back. He knows he's going to be in that jungle. He wants to get more vision for the team as well. So Quillcoat and Pink and Vision Ward.
That's so many wards.
Yeah.
Dominate's going to have to find the right positioning for here and rely on his lanes to have a fair bit of pressure so he can go in there and get out with safety.
Good pressure from Moore. Trying to play a little zone. Not really getting anything out of it though. See how XiaoWeiXiao takes to this lane. Like we were saying before, when Link played against Voyboy, he said, I can't do much. You just get pushed in. You're always getting harassed. Yeah, you're going to go even in lane, but you want to help and provide for the other lanes.
This is the key to this matchup, though. You just saw Voyboy's explosive shot right there. The active does 190 magic damage at rank 3, but you saw the size of that XiaoWeiXiao shield. That's why they want Lulu in the mid lane. He's actually put 2 points into it, so the shield itself there for XiaoWeiXiao can actually, let's see, shield him for 145. So he's taking hardly any damage from that explosive shot, and he's already able to trade back with an auto attack. That's the only reason that this Lulu pick is hopefully not getting pressured out by Voyboy.
Still working out for him. 42 to 34. He's not one to usually be down in CS, but Voyboy has been playing this so well that he's actually putting a few different numbers on whoever he lanes against in mid to give him a hard time. Dominate now in the face of NoName.
But NoName's out leveling Dominate right now.
You see
so
5
because of that missed guess by Dominate, he hasn't really been able to keep Elise down in this early game. They're going to need to rely on more of a mid-game zoning NuNu for him to be effective, which can still happen, but the early game power is gone.
I wonder if, not that it says much, but NoName noticed that red buff being on Dominate a little late. It means he got to it late, and he may not be getting the jungle that he wants. No advantage being taken off that little bit of knowledge, though. More too close for comfort as they try to grab brush control.
I talked to a lot of junglers. They actually time buffs based on when they see the enemy jungler's timer going down, because it's 2.5 minutes for most junglers, since very few junglers take the mastery.
For the extended.
If they did take the mastery, it's 3 minutes, so you can time blues off of when mid laners get them as well, if you just kind of guesstimate the time ticking when you see their buff bar with it.
Very interesting. So maybe NoName does have that knowledge. He's definitely going to be going and getting some high priority wards in here without the risk. Hopefully seeing the pink on the way out. Pretty sure he might just dodge out of that one. A good push to the bottom lane. Maybe just going for the kill here.
There it is.
So maybe he'll actually not go for the kill after this. Yeah.
They saw me. They still see me.
Can't do much. Yeah, they still see me.
Good wards by Dominate, of course. The pink ward getting taken down is a little bit unfortunate, but it's bound to happen with pink wards.
Also gives kind of the idea of how LMQ's feeling about the game. Dominate knows they're feeling comfortable enough to dodge in, put wards down. The LMQ may want to start making moves on a dragon coming up.
You know what? Dominate is maxing Consume in the jungle. He has 3 points in it right now, but fight bottom.
Ooh, Vasilii gonna get jumped on here. Cop. Very nice job. The Cathian surprise, only going to do so much. It won't be the killer, but both 80 carries, they go down nicely.
That's huge, though. First blood to Cop, and then the return kill goes to Moore, not Vasilii. So the difference in gold is actually pretty huge. They're now 250 gold apart from each other in that bottom lane, and there's that max consume NuNu crushing down that dragon as quickly as possible.
So this is perfect. Both 80 carries go down. Why would anybody be doing dragon right now? Dominate sneaks in for Mission Impossible, and he's actually going to get help from Voyboy to take this down. Very nice 8-minute, 20-second dragon coming in from Curse as they kind of play the map
Oh no.
No, what is
Goodbye,
he doing?
friend.
What's he doing up that far?
Goodbye, friend.
The support wars, it's not worth it. Dominate, run!
He has no combat deck. What's he gonna do?
Can't do much. I don't know. Maybe consume some minions.
All right.
He missed.
Yep, that's gonna happen. I wonder if Dominate decided to go max consume because he missed the early game jungle thing and say, well, my early game shot, I'm just gonna go full objective control right now. Or if he came into the game with the plan of trying to control the early dragons. We've seen Curse have some pretty well-orchestrated early game plans before, so I imagine he's actually planned max consume from the start of this. As far as that death bottom for Xpecial, he just overstayed his welcome, or hit 6. The flash ult from Morgana is nearly inescapable, and was a nice kill for LMQ.
Run, Voyboy. Look at the siege minion. So only misses 1 on this wave. Very well timed. And a great back and forth.
Oh, wow. He attacks fast.
Yeah. That's what he does. Where's he at?
Well,
Almost won,
the
0.9.
the nice thing is rapid fire is free, so it's a 45% attack speed boost for 7 seconds when he has 2 ranks in it.
That doesn't hurt.
Voyboy actually hasn't shopped yet. He's sitting on 2,700 gold. XiaoWeiXiao has shopped, so he's got a big edge on Voyboy right now.
I mean, Voyboy goes for the avarice early, and then he just keeps farming in lane.
A lot of times, yeah, and then he goes and takes rakes, but it seems like he'll go right back and take that static shiv. You would want LMQ to win,
Wow.
wouldn't you? Of course, EG needs a miracle to happen. They need to win every game and have Curse lose every game.
Well, they're on the mark. 2-0.
They're 2-0, though.
2-0, 4-0 Dreams.
The dream is alive. They actually beat Cloud9 on day 1. EG's actually won 5 of their last 7 games. So they're a team on a tear late in the season.
Hey, man, it's the teams that figure out what those problems were as they slumped in the mid-season. Now they start to make a surge. We'll see what Curse can do. They're very close to being one of those teams. They kept themselves out of the bottom and had a great deal of separation in games towards the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th weeks of the split. And now they're being chased. EG and Complexity are the ones doing that. Curse is having none of it. Now trying to take out LMQ, bring that record to 2-2, which is something we've been talking about. Curse needing to take down the top teams. This is a chance right here.
Curse is actually pretty good at taking down the top teams. Surprisingly, TSM the only one they've had a huge issue with. There's some interesting trading going down here. The level 6 Cogma, if Cop gets hit by those Cog ultimates, it is big trouble. It's one of the most underappreciated ultimates in the game. Able to do so much damage from afar.
Dominate throws Blood Boil on Voyboy. They're already on a ward right now, but he knows, say, you don't just get Blood Boil from nowhere. He'll stay safe in the mid lane. Xiao is actually caught up in CS in that lane. Still no action between those two throughout the entire time. NoName, as we said, coming into this week, was one of our guys to watch on LMQ. So far doing well. 1-0-0 on Elise. He's been making some moves.
And he's going with the tanky release, with some more vision control. We've seen most of the Elises switch back over to the damage build. But NoName continues to do Golem Spirit. He's benefiting from that health if he ever gets caught out.
Oh,
but again, you have no friends right here, Xpecial.
Warding is a dangerous deal.
If he gets away without dying, that's actually a pretty big benefit.
Brom makes look easy.
No Ignite, no ult on more. But has he recalled in a dangerous spot? He's in a precarious position. There's the Cocoon!
Oh, no! That wasn't so easy.
Ah, man. That sucks.
I wouldn't do that. LMQ looks like they're going to be able to take this turret, given time for Vasilii to pressure it up. 2 minutes on to Dragon. Looks like it'd be nice for them to drop and start creating pressure around the rest of the map, but they give up for now. They're going to go ahead and try and get Voyboy here in the mid lane.
Yeah, this could be a big move up for LMQ. Voyboy playing aggressive, no support there, so the free roam here, but Voyboy's got some slick moves. Puts big damage down as well and escapes everything. Also, I've just been informed, I was working with some faulty information, LMQ does not clinch first with the win.
Oh.
But they'll still be in a better position for first. Guarantee that.
Information correct. This just in.
Yeah, this is all based on the roam for more right here. They're able to secure the blue buff. Not as impactful as it would be against a standard mid laner. Voyboy doesn't really need the blue buff. So it's actually a nice little bit of damage for the turret on Voyboy.
And interesting from Ackerman as well. We've seen a lot of Gragas's on the Rod of Ages.
Check this out. This is a little dangerous.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's see XiaoWeiXiao and Vasilii collapsing on this. Cop is not in on the game here.
Oh!
Xiao got it. Voyboy even burned his ultimate to try and burst it down, but he didn't quite have the timing right. That's disappointing. He used a lot of his mana pool just to try that as well.
Little things going towards LMQ, 700 gold in their favor, and this is really all that they need. They're consistent at this point, and they can get Vasilii to a very nice carry position. He focuses a Blade of the Rune King first, coming down to Kog'Maw.
Interesting. A lot of Kog'Maws will go for the Trinity Force first, for the laning power.
A little safety power.
But Vasilii is going for a little bit more sustain and farming here. Do got to really hand it to NoName so far this game. Up against a Nunu, still able to come out 2-0 and have a substantial impact on this game. Dragon up in 10 seconds, though.
One thing that's helped is they haven't had to go to this lane fighting these guys. Ackerman with a Lich Bane build and Quas building up his Rod of Ages. A little different for Gragas. Not to get a Lich Bane, but usually we'll see the Rod of Ages in there as well.
You're absolutely right about that. I really wonder how Vision Control will work around this Dragon Pit here.
Yeah, just alive.
Voyboy did get the red buff. There is a Sightstone purchased on IWillDominate, but not on NoName. Yet as far as combat effectiveness, because of those 3 points he put in Consume, NoName is greatly superior.
Pretty nice. Trying to cut each other out of this dragon fight coming up. Both their teleports are up. Actually, Ackerman wearing that blue buff from the top side, so that's nice.
It's the nice buff steal.
Yep.
LMQ with double blue buffs on their solo laners. Does make shoving lanes more difficult for Curse, and LMQ is slowly extending their laning lead. We all know how powerful Ackerman's Gragas can be if he gets full AP Gragas. So it's kind of important that Curse do something quickly.
Well, they've definitely kept the wards up, as we were saying, for Dominate to do this Consume go. Right now, he's actually sitting
5 points in Consume.
5.
Maxed it.
Yeah.
So
they have the wards to keep them out of his hair.
It is 1,000 true damage on an 8.5 second cooldown right now. That'll kill stuff pretty fast. It also heals him for 250.
See how they decide to work it. Chris, usually that team that's all right with letting dragons go, but now focusing on the ability that would get them the objectives and get them into these team fights. XiaoWeiXiao, a little bit of harass. As he said, he can go zippy. 16 minutes on the clock, and this dragon definitely going to be coming up quite soon. Got a back here coming in from NoName, and we'll see what he comes back to the fight with.
Nice damage trade there by Xpecial, actually. Yeah. I thought he'd take a lot more damage for that. So always a tough matchup for a Braum going up against a Morgana. Teams continue to pick up Braum into Morg because they just like the team fighting effectiveness of Braum so much so. But in lane, it's so dangerous because it's very easy to just black shield Braum's stuns.
Yeah.
We're also going the sustain route with the Static Shiv. In other games, he hasn't had to do this. But enough harass has been put down from XiaoWeiXiao that he's decided the Vamp Scepter was the proper course of action. Plus, the timing of the back here means LMQ can go for a dragon. Right. This is a huge move when you consider how much Dominate's invested into Consume. LMQ gets it.
Very nicely done. We were talking a little bit about Voyboy right there, and usually he's had a few more kills by now to create pressure on that Trist. Now that he's not, LMQ is starting to take advantage.
Is the whole plan, maybe?
Give things
up, try a
take more.
2 to 3-man Baron because they gave up Dragon and they knew they were going back, but instead, nope, they play conservatively. Let's take a Wraith Camp instead.
Why not? Curse is known of trying to take a little bit too much, so maybe they're trying to steer away from that at this point. Get good wards down. They've been pretty much cleared out on LMQ's jungle side. That might be the reason LMQ is so easily able to get that Dragon. Curse is really worried about their side vision in high risk of LMQ trying to invade. See NoName doing that just now to start getting their deep wards in.
Yeah, they're going for a return invade on this blue buff.
With Ackerman having that timer, not going to be too hard.
Making sure they have vision control over the Baron as well. They do know that there's a Nunu on the other team. NoName's, got to say, one of his favorite junglers is Nunu. So you don't pull Nunu tricks on a Nunu main. It's probably best that Curse didn't try for that Baron.
Of course. LMQ brought out Nunu second day of first Super Week. It's like, what? Yep, that's Nunu.
Although, giving blue buff to a level 10 Nunu just makes you think that they're going to try for a Baron shortly.
Wow. Pressure towards the bottom lane. We do have a ping on NoName here as Curse looks to be a little bit aggressive. There's that Black Shield and Winter's Bite play from Xpecial and more. We got the Triforce finished up here on Cop as it was a bit ago. Still working on something after that Vasilii Blade of the Rune King.
They faked a recall over a ward that they were sweeping right there to make LMQ seem a little bit more confident. This is real nice. The blue buff means the consumes are coming out real fast. NoName's suspicious, though. NoName is really suspicious.
Oh, no!
Going down fast. Nope, he's actually not suspicious. He's just oblivious right now. That is a Baron, looks like, for Curse coming up. Wow.
NoName. It's LMQ that's the team that does the early Dragons, Jack.
19-minute Baron. No. Riv, this was a really well-orchestrated mind game by Curse. I didn't see it on camera. I saw it on the minimap. There was something that happened on top of an LMQ ward with Voyboy's recall that I would love to try and see again, unless I'm just imagining things, that really made LMQ think there was no Baron being taken there. That was planned from the start of the game for Curse, that they were trying an early Baron this game. That's why Dominate, maxed Consume, that's why they gave him the blue buffs.
I don't think I've ever seen the Baron taken with all the turrets up. That's weird. What do you do after that? You just take them all down at once like a wrecking ball or something?
Check this out. So they were sweeping. Now, the vision is going to be gone anyway. I thought they were faking it out there. Maybe Voyboy thought the lingering vision was going to see the start of the recall, but the sweeper blocks the vision anyway. Still, it looked really
I like it. It's a choose your own adventure.
Killed the ward.
Whatever you want to have.
They thought they were just killing the ward so
Yeah.
Voyboy could recall, even so. Thank you for the replay very much, Observer team.
Blue team's
On
turret
point.
has been destroyed.
So pretty even throughout the lanes, except for this top lane. A little bit of discrepancy in CS. Curse is trying to get turrets now. We're going to go ahead and try to open up bottom lane and start get a little bit of entry into the jungle as their top lane has been taken down. Needlessly large rod for Ackerman as he's going some damage build on that. Gragas is going to be pretty scary coming into the late game. Curse is putting a lot of focus down here. It's given time for rotation.
It's really crazy that Curse has Baron buff in the laning phase. It really changes
That's
things.
what I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, having this much health regeneration really changes the dynamics of these lanes. So Curse really just using that nice strategic play for the mid-game advantage here. LMQ wanted to try and pull off a gank, though.
This is like the biggest power play. If they're backing off with it, however.
Well, it was a 4v3.
Right. That they're not formulating. They got to get something out of this. They definitely need to use a Baron in the correct way. Minute 30 onto Dragon. That could still be gold that'll come into their favor because of the strength of Baron, but that's about it. Good hold.
Yeah.
Got to give credit to LMQ for not going down throughout this yet.
Here's the replay again. This is a mind game. This is from LMQ's perspective, what they saw. They see the start of the recall. And then Voyboy disappears.
Boom.
That's a real mind game.
Mind games indeed.
Quas using that Baron buff to harass out the unharassable.
It's so good. This is really going to test LMQ to see can they get through pretty much anything. A Baron buff at 19 minutes into the game, but also is Curse using it accordingly. So far, they really can just push the lanes down regular, and they're going to get the turrets that they need.
Yeah.
They're doing it methodically. They're not just trying to go crazy.
Exactly. Got to say as well, LMQ's mid lane turret fell during that replay as well. So Curse now working on the third turret of the game here. With Quas bullying now Ackerman's Gragas. Ackerman's going for the full AP build, not as much laning power if he doesn't build the Rod of Ages, because he doesn't get the Catalyst heals when he levels up. So it's kind of costing him here, but it may pay off if he can assassinate some AD carries in team fights.
It's crazy. Look at the gold. And LMQ is actually still up about 500 gold, even with a Baron in favor of Curse. Crazy stuff. There's a turret going down. Gold is exactly even now as we enter into the game. 23 minutes.
And if Curse goes for this dragon right as it spawns, they'll still have the Baron buff for it. But they do not have the position to do so. The Baron buff is most likely going to expire before we see a dragon fight.
LMQ, I think they're banking on that. Timing this one
could
down.
be the
They'd wait a few more
game-deciding
seconds to
fight.
have a much better one.
There's been so much farming, Riv. And now it's all about vision control. Quas is a little slow to the party, which means LMQ has full control coming in here. And checking into this AP Gragas is so risky, but there's the teleport coming in behind. Can they get a catch?
It's going to be very big. That TP from Quas. Can he get in the fight perfectly? Quas throws down that Maelstrom. mitigates a lot of damage, but he's thrown right into the fray of 4 LMQ members. Dominate still trying to go in hard. Xpecial says, stand behind me. And there's the front line 80 carries, if you will. Both Cop and Voyboy able to Valkyrie and rocket jump into the aggressive position. Curse comes out on top of that one. Well, it's 1-1, but it looks like they have position.
That was a real explosive fight right there. You could see the threat of Ackerman isolating the team and blowing Quas into the team. Yet, Curse did have the upper hand in that. Enough LMQ members go low that they can take the Dragon and pull themselves into a slight lead.
Curse loves this, and that's what you're going to get out of the ADs. Voyboy and Comp can keep spitting out that DPS. There's a lot of AP on LMQ, but they have to wait for cooldowns. Now Xpecial and Comp in a scary, scary situation. Turned around. Comp thrown down the Frost Bomb in a big shot, and it's going to be even more. Voyboy tries to get into the jump one more time. That's going to be a reset. That's another one. Voyboy going deep. He dodges out. No, it's going to be one shot coming in. And yes, Vasilii does get the hit he needs. Now onto Xpecial and Comp. Yeah, they still have an 80 carry left, so they can kite this one out. Dominate's there to help as well. Still throw down some Blood Boy utility. And LMQ is just being thrown every which way by Curse right now.
Yeah, the game just got crazy right there. Voyboy loves hopping around, but it is still anyone's game. And Quas is getting pretty big in Ansi himself, although he's going with a very magic resist heavy build against the magic damage heavy team.
Great fight for Curse there.
Yeah, check this out. You can see how low they're getting right here, but Voyboy had just pushed up the mid lane, and Ackerman messes up his body slam flash right there. Ends up using it on the Wolves, and then NoName nearly gets saved because Cop valked across, but Voyboy is able to double jump. King me! And then Vasilii finishes him off with long range.
So close.
I think we have a second. Baron's up in about 50. Before something crazy happens, because I want to talk about the team fight dynamics of this Curse team. It's very much an orderly team fight that they want to pull off, because they have a very clear distinction with a frontline tank in Maokai, two guys who can play in what I call the midline, which is obviously between the front line and the carries, which is Nunu and Braum, and then two really safe carries that are in the back and able to dash forward when things start going through. So in order for LMQ to actually break that and deal with the damage dealers of Curse, they have to be very creative with flanks, or they have to cut through the tanks first.
Right.
Which basically means if Quas and Nunu can get healthy enough, it makes it very difficult for LMQ to have a proper team fight. Only because the zone control and the formation of Quas's team is really well constructed for team fights.
A lot of angles they can create, a lot of walls they can shoot over. You saw how much of an advantage they had fighting in the jungle. I don't think LMQ wants that kind of thing again.
It's just an immense amount of peel as well.
Yeah.
Like for LMQ to try and get through all this, you're trying to shoot a binding, you got to basically navigate through 3 tanks. There's a Banshee's Veil on the Braum support, you know? It's really tough to get through.
Definitely getting those buys in accordingly, and Xpecial, no stranger to putting himself right on the front line. Him and Dominate taking that position right now. Nice job to break the shield by more, but they're not able to keep the wards they want. Ackerman's going to do what he can with this Lich Bane on the top lane, see if he can pull anybody to him. And LMQ's got the wards for him to teleport in, so if Curse cannot find these attacks, Ackerman may be coming through the backside and help LMQ. 27 minutes on the game. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out as they have to clear the waves. Infinity Edge up for Voyboy. We're looking for that last Whisper to come in for Cop for a bit more spike and damage. There are definitely items up here coming into the game in a few of the lanes, but the CS in this game, gotta say, everybody's on almost the perfect clip. XiaoWeiXiao still beating that. So
it was definitely that extended laning phase, which is why we had such high CS. The laning phase was so extended, we saw a Baron during it, which is pretty rare.
It like shifted. We're already into late game now.
Yeah.
It's like considering when Baron happens. Sure, late game.
Voyboy's got his Infinity Edge working on a Bloodthirster. Not much armor is being able to get built up by LMQ here. And they're going to have to deal with Voyboy in some way, shape, or form shortly. I'm surprised Ackerman isn't down there. He could maybe even kill Voyboy and still would have a teleport edge. Yet it goes to show how strong the 4 people of Curse are feeling right now. If LMQ's not even able to take vision control while they had a 5 before.
Quite impressive from Curse here. The early Baron really snowballing into good things for them. Now dictating a little down towards the mid lane. And just making sure at least they have the wards to stop LMQ from really coming out of the fog of war and taking them by surprise. They've stretched themselves a 2,500 gold lead here. but the kills have really been shut down. That's really to LMQ. Once Curse had Baron, they said, we don't want anything to do with that. That's one thing LMQ is very good at, is being patient when they know they're behind until they can get what they want. See if it plays a role here in this next turret push.
Now we're seeing the split push play, though, to try and stall out by LMQ. Ackerman's down in the bottom lane, forcing Curse into a difficult decision here. They decide to send Quas down and prolong the farming phase.
Well, Ackerman has had many highlight reels on that Gragas. So
he's got a death cap now, too.
Whoever goes to fight him, it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Death cap before Cop and Voyboy can get to magic resist. So it's going to be on. It's going to be on the front and mid line of Curse to prevent Gragas from getting through them with body slams or barrels. And Cop and Voyboy just have to stay safe in the back.
Looks like LMQ is going to be a little bit more knowledgeable about this next Baron to come up or be fought over. Dragon in 25 seconds. Wards well placed here by both teams, but it's really on the focus of this top side. There's definitely a possibility of a flank here from Curse. LMQ's wards are really only, like I said, towards that upper Wraith and red area.
There's a big one fired into 3 people on LMQ. Voyboy's got his Infinity Edge as well, so they're using that to scout out.
Yeah, finish that Bloodthirster nicely. Keep himself sustained. LMQ still has a lot of time to work with. That Kog'Maw is not half as big as he could be, and he actually did not get an Infinity Edge or still hasn't gone for that Triforce.
He never went for the Triforce. It's too late to go for the Triforce now because he's all about multiplying his damage. So he missed out on that that mid-game power spike, which wouldn't have mattered too much considering Curse had a Baron in the mid-game. That was their version of the mid-game power spike.
Different builds coming out here for those AD carries. Not so much Cop. He's getting what he needs. Probably get an Infinity Edge for himself as well, or maybe even some safety at this point, seeing all the AP and Rabadons that he's going to be dealing with. Void Staff for XiaoWeiXiao as well.
I almost feel like the next item for both of Curse's AD carries should be Banshee's Veils, but it really depends on how well they think they can stick to their teamfight formations. Whether or not they think they can protect with the 3 tanks, or if they just want to make their whole team somewhat unkillable, since it's pretty much just magic damage coming out from LMQ's team.
Well, right now, Voyboy is ridiculous. Dominate gives him Blood Boil, and he can shred through Ackerman. Hardly any resistances there. Shred through Lulu. XiaoWeiXiao doesn't have anything, so it's really NoName. Really hopes he's taking the shots, and he won't even want to when they're critted. Slow ward clearing coming from LMQ. I don't think I've really seen LMQ ever this timid in their movements to try and take something back. Curse is doing a really good job of putting down a stranglehold on everything. Good wards, good clearing as well. 2 sweepers still alive to be placed in the right spots, and they're doing a good job at that as well. Definitely the way Curse is going to need to play if they want to get those top spots and keep playing this way throughout the playoffs.
You got to make sure they initiate properly. They're definitely trying to slowly tip down that turret, and if they get enough damage on more like that, those are great poke starts for these fights. It's very tough to push through the wave clear of a Gragas, though. Look at the tanking of the turret, however.
Yep.
And the double AD carry. Corki not the best at sieging down turrets, but they do have 2 people now they can threaten the turret with. They have to respect Gragas ult, though. Ackerman lands a good one.
Not seeing more go back. He can keep himself safe. He doesn't have home guards to come back, but the wave is cleared enough. LMQ is just buying time here. Yeah, they're taking poke on the champions and the turret. It's only a matter of time. That
was pretty much just saplings and rockets from Cop that got XiaoWeiXiao that low. And they can kill Baron so fast. They just pink warded out that Baron pit, and LMQ was forced into kind of rushing this one down. Ackerman just kind of went on a suicidal move right there to scout it out alone. It does pay off because they weren't laying in wait, but they're just bursting that Baron down.
Very fast. Voyboy
no idea with the steal yet. They're waiting on consumable now.
Oh, Ackerman, he's close to this one. Still has the cap. The ultimate has not been used from Gragas yet. They now throw it in. Xpecial gets hit up into the fight. Cop, big damage onto Ackerman to start this one off, and Voyboy is going to be running through. XiaoWeiXiao is almost within range. If he hits him, that red buff's going to keep him there, but he does not get the last shot off. 3 down for LMQ in the blink of an eye.
Cop actually came in from the flank right there to finish him off, and right now, NoName is just trying to stall. Dominate saying, ignore the Elise, let me do Baron. Come on, guys. Zone him out when he's here.
Yep.
Kerr's going to focus on this Baron, and they're going to try and deal with NoName if he comes in for a steal. No, they know there's no flash on Elise. Voyboy found a friend.
Oh, the cocoon! That whole point of origin thing makes it kind of hard to hit somebody if they're standing right on top of you.
Objective control and some solid team fighting right there from Curse. All piling in as LMQ desperately funneled towards the Baron Pit. I mean, check this out.
Over.
Yeah, Ackerman was pretty much caught. So they get a stun as well as a Malka root, so he's not really a threat to the 80 carries. And then watch this. Voyboy jumps in pretty much in melee range of people, and Kopp comes around the backside like a madman, flashes backwards immediately, but the damage had already been dealt because LMQ's damage dealers had been taken out with the flank attack.
It's funny, you can instantly see how much he second-guessed his choice there.
Yeah.
As soon as he made it over the wall. Bad decision.
Kopp would call that a good decision. They won the fight and got Baron.
Absolutely. Tricked
May
him
as
out.
well.
The mind games, too strong.
Nobody expects Kopp to Valk behind 4 people on the enemy team.
This is a true statement. We didn't. 9-6, 34.5 in, a 6,000 gold lead now. Curse, they are able to hold their leads so much better here towards the end of the split, and it really is attributing to their victories over the top tier teams in the league.
It really seems like Curse has LMQ's number. And this actually opens up a slight possibility that Cloud9 could end up sneaking in that first seed if LMQ loses this game. It's so funny too, because the games that LMQ has actually lost to Curse have revolved around Curse having the right type of tank line to stop LMQ's high damage strategies. I think back, they won with the tank Cassidin that one time.
Right, yep.
They won another game that had a Ryze mid lane with a tank Gragas in the top lane. Curse has been able to build some very resilient compositions which neutralize LMQ's strategies. And it might be a bit of a blueprint for taking down LMQ. Curse definitely has the right idea.
And when this came in as well, like you said, it could be that blueprint they need to take down LMQ. They made LMQ, maybe they did, diverge from what they wanted to do in Champion Select. That Lulu probably was supposed to go to Ackerman until the Gragas last pick. When LMQ goes from what they want in Champion Select, things usually don't go well for them at all in the game. We saw that happen when they went to choose Pantheon in the mid lane matchup, and they diverted from what they had originally planned for the week, and they said that's what made us lose. It's not something we can do. Here it may be the crutch, the Lulu in the mid lane, and Gragas to the top, which may have been that Lulu for Ackerman.
I mean, Ackerman is fantastic on both of those champions. XiaoWeiXiao has a really deep champion pool. It's just about Curse playing a little bit better here. You can't really argue with LMQ's champion select being strong, because those are all very strong picks for them.
And it seemed like it played out again. Voyboy was able to keep his lane pushed, didn't kill it. Neither of them killed each other in the mid lane. But with the consistency of XiaoWeiXiao not being able to roam, it's the same thing Link said. That was a problem, and it shut down the power of the full team, not having your mid laner. Ackerman, not in a good spot here, but it looks like they're able to get out safe. Curse looking to make final pushes here on the inhibitor turrets. Voyboy with Blood Boil has 2.3 second attack speed, just 0.2 off of the max. He's hitting hard.
It tells more to just go away because he had no Black Shield. This is a really potent Curse push right here. LMQ has nothing to stop this.
I don't know what can stop the AD comp, chat. They have been able to find wins with it every time they pulled it out.
Voyboy's Tristana is just ridiculously good in the mid lane. The only guy who plays it pretty much in the world, it seems like, on a competitive level.
You know what's funny is it almost works against the teams too, because they ban it out in scrims because they don't want to play against it. They're like, oh, we don't get practice out of that. But when you don't play against it, you don't know how to play against it.
It's fitting. A lot of people remember NY Jackie. He used to play Tristana mid lane way back in the day. Used to be a popular pick.
That's so true.
But I'm talking about recently, Voyboy's definitely been the one to bring it back. NY Jackie, of course, was on Curse, so Voyboy doing him proud.
You're saying we're going to see Veigar? Oh, we're going to see a fight, that's for sure. More going in. Zanya's locked up, but the Soul Shackle really doesn't crowd control.
How can they get through that tank line of Curse right now?
You can't.
Curse just pushing through.
And they hardly have even taken any damage. He's even pushing Voyboy back on that. Everything they try to do to disperse the fight, to get themselves in the right position, is just giving Curse the upper hand. They take another advantage, the power play inside LMQ's base, and they just make this one look so clean. At 38 minutes in, they take out LMQ with an ace.
14 kills to 7. Curse, with this win, will clinch a playoff spot.
Such a great play. 14-7, like you said, 38 minutes in. Curse did not hesitate with a 19-minute Baron during the laning phase. Now to the Nexus, just 19 minutes later, they're going to take a win. Curse takes down LMQ to go 2-2 on the split.
And that has got to feel good right there. Voyboy jumps out of his seat in excitement. Especially after that really shaky loss on the first day against Complexity. To bounce back today, beat Dignitas, and then LMQ to clinch playoffs with still a game to go in the regular season.
Oh, they put another team down with a double AD composition.
Yeah.
They're the nail in the coffin for Curse against other teams. Doesn't matter who comes to the table. It's been a different matchup for Voyboy each time, and he has taken it home with the rest of the team.
IWillDominate really playing a different type of Nunu that game as well. I look at the end of the game, I see his skill order. Almost every Nunu will max Ice Blast first, you see in the jungle. That's the one skill IWillDominate did not level. He had 3 points in it by the end of the game. Max Consume first, and Blood Boil second because he knew how threatening Voyboy would be. And that is exactly what Curse needed from Champion Select. They got at least taken away from him. Didn't matter because he wanted Nunu.
I don't know what we have planned for interviews, but if we are getting dominated, that would be sweet to get a question about that leveling of his Nunu. He has been playing in the jungle recently on Eve quite well. And now to bring out the Nunu, kind of be hindered in the beginning and say, nothing happened at LMQ's red. I'm completely out of position. I got to get back.
Yeah. This will be a really fascinating playoffs with Curse coming in here now. It's interesting because they're actually on a collision course to play TSM, who they have not done well against.
No.
But if something crazy could happen and they could somehow leapfrog their way into 5th place, which I believe is still possible, they'd have much better roster matchup against CLG. So, I mean, there's still plenty on the line for these guys as it goes. But unfortunately for Complexity and EG, they're now playing for seeding between 7th and 8th.
Right.
Because that 6th place has been taken out of contention by Curse's success.
That's what we were talking a little bit about. Between weeks 5, 6, 7, 8, Curse was really making a shot for the top of the list, defeating some of those top teams. Voyboy saying, hey, Ma, we won. Check it out. Go ahead and tweet. Also, I'll tweet to the fans, of course, but he's having a good time. And again, just able to bring out the Triss. First pick on that one kind of threw LMQ for a loop in Champion Select, and now LMQ kind of gets a little bit of hurt on themselves. They as we said, 2 of the last 8 games they had only lost. Now that puts another one in there. Still towards the top of the list and probably not going to change up too much, but definitely a game to look at right there.
LMQ is going to have 2 games tomorrow, which will have some decent heavy implications. They play Dignitas and EG are their 2 matchups. So not their most challenging foes as far as what they've struggled against, but still important games because they want to lock down the #1 seed.
It's getting really tight here towards the end of the split, and every team has to do what they can. I think we heard in the beginning bumper that every team has to play to the top of their intensity, and that becomes harder because, like you said, LMQ has 2 games tomorrow, and none of these can be trap games. A lot of teams get caught, and it's easier to get caught when you're at the top. For more on that important Curse win, let's send it over to Dash and Zyrene.
Thanks, Riv. We want to welcome IWillDominate after a win that clinches that playoff spot for you guys, and it can't feel better than doing it against the #1 seed in NA.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. We have this like weird thing about us where we lose to all the bottom teams and then we beat all the top teams. So coming into this game, we actually felt pretty good, right? We have a positive record against LMQ. And we thought that we could win the game, so we just kind of stuck with the same type of strat that we went with yesterday, and it worked out for us.
And you guys also have winning records against CLG and Dignitas, so you can't actually jump all the way to the 4th place spot because you have those tiebreakers. But talking about that winning strategy you guys were using, you were 3-0 with the Tristana composition so far. How is nobody able to crack this yet?
Well, a lot of teams just crack it by banning it.
Is that the only way?
There's other ways, but I just don't think teams like are used to it. You don't really practice against any Tristana mid players since Voi's the only one in NA. So we just kind of adapted it, and I'm pretty sure that it's just going to be perma-banned after this. But
the hardest of hard counters is the ban hammer. But one of the other picks that we saw you come out with was the Nunu, which you were previously 0-2 on prior to this match, but you pick up the win. One thing we wanted to question you about was the maxing skill order. You decided to max your consume first. Why is that?
I just really felt like it was the type of game where we needed to go for like an early Baron or Dragon. We needed to just control objectives to win the game. This game was different than the last game we played versus Complexity because we weren't as far behind. So I definitely thought that we would we would be able to go in, get a Baron early, and we were just like planning that ever since like 6 minutes, just waiting for the timing window.
There was a point where you guys did a very sneaky Baron. You cleared a ward, and Voy started backing on it, and then he canceled his back after the ward vision was canceled. Was that intentional, or did you guys just make that was completely intentional?
Yeah, it was just a recall bait. We just wanted them to think that we were backing. I tried to make it look like I was like running into like the other side of the jungle, maybe towards mid, and then we just all like went for the Baron. I had max consume, and I had a blue buff then, so I could actually do it really efficiently. As long as there's other people there to just split the damage with me, we can take that Baron down in like 30 seconds, and that's what we ended up doing.
Brilliant.
Just out of curiosity, whose call was that?
I think I made the Baron call.
Awesome.
He thinks he made it.
Confidently, I made it.
Really good, though.
Yeah, I pretty much have to make that call because I'm the one with like consume. I'm the one that's telling my team I have consume max, and we knew that they didn't have ward, so I made the initial call to go for it. And then as things happened, people were filling in information about where Elise was if they knew that we were doing it. So it was like a joint call from there.
This is awesome.
Let's jump into the game. Let's look at a replay real quick. About 24 minutes into the game, around LMQ's blue buff. You guys go 3 for 1, and I feel like this fight demonstrates pretty well the power of the double ADC. So talk me through it a little bit, if you will.
So we had just fought previously to this around Dragon, and they're still kind of low, so they were greeting for their blue buff. And we knew that they were coming in to fight, and Boy gets here. We all run in, and Ackerman actually misses flash body slam, so from there we're just calling go, 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 go. Cop vaults forward, we have Tristana jump in, finishes NoName, he resets his jump, jumps in again, kills XiaoWeiXiao, tries to get out, unfortunately he falls. But off that we were just able to have so much momentum, we just pretty much had a 3 for 1 fight there, so we were really confident from that point on.
And you talked about it earlier, you have all these top teams' numbers in terms of just winning tiebreakers against them and winning matches, but you lose against the lower teams. Why do you have these top teams' numbers? Why are you able to just mind game them so hard?
I really wish I knew that. If I knew that, we probably wouldn't be losing to all the bottom teams, so I don't really have an answer for you there.
That's cool.
I like that. I like that a lot. However, when we look at the playoff picture, you're only playing against the top teams, right? We get rid of the bottom 2. So does that give you a fair amount of confidence knowing that you have these winning records against the 1, 2, 3 seeds?
Yeah, I definitely think that we're going to be super confident going into playoffs. I just hope that we keep on improving and come playoffs we're able to win that best of 5.
All right, and I want to jump into another replay here. It's about 32 minutes and 45 seconds. It's a 3 for 1 at Baron. Walk me through this and tell me what is going on with the calls here, because you guys go really hard in this fight. Let's start rolling the clip.
So we started Baron with the intention that we can turn. We don't take any damage from it because I have armor and I max consume at this point. So we go into the fight, we catch Ackerman, and from there we just know he's dead. So we just call go, 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 go. I think Cop actually valks the wall, gets behind them, and we just close them in and just start wiping the floor with them. We get 1 kill onto like Morgana. Triss resets the jump. I think flashes the wall, kills Vasilii, and from here we knew that NoName was still alive. We decided to go back to Baron, finish it, and just have Voice Zone / kill the Elise.
Yeah, he managed to get that kill, and then it's an entirely free Baron. You guys had a pretty easy time closing the game out from there. So I want to move forward, again, looking towards playoffs. I want to ask you about your match tomorrow against TSM, because it's very likely that is one of the teams you will face, perhaps in the first round of the playoffs. So what are you specifically looking to learn from that game tomorrow?
There's a lot of time between now and playoffs, so we're just going to go into the game trying to win so that maybe we can get like a different spot in the playoffs, maybe the 4th or 5th seed. We're a lot more confident against Dig and CLG than we are against TSM. For some reason, they just read us better than other teams. So hopefully we're able to pull that match out and then grab a 4th or 5th spot.
All right, so I promised Xpecial and Voyboy that we'd have you on the desk if you get one again, because I had to ask you, why are you so successful with Rengar and so good at it, whereas a lot of Western junglers aren't?
Well, I'm 0-2 with Rengar.
I know,
LCS,
but they said you're the best Rengar right now in North America. Or one of the best.
Maybe an LCS. There's some Rengar gods in
That's
Seoul.
true. It's true. No Ryan Choi up here.
Yeah, I'm no Ryan Choi. But I don't know. I just really like the tank CDR build, and I understand like how to use the bola when you ult to like pretty much guarantee it. So I think that's probably why I have a decent amount of success with the champion.
It'll definitely be interesting to see whether or not that champion comes into his own in the NA LCS, because it is so successful in other regions. Anyway, Voyboy, that's all the time we had for questions there. Sorry.
Dominate.
Oh my God.
That's Dominate.
Let me take a moment. Let me take a moment and recoup from that horrible
It's the beard, right?
Yeah. Shave, please.
Yeah.
No, Dominate. I apologize. Thank you so much for spending the time on the desk with us. Congratulations on the win and clinching that playoff spot.
Thanks.
Now we've got to take one final timeout before we dive into our last LCS match, CLG versus Complexity. We'll be right back after this.
Voyboy tries to get into the jump one more time. That's going to be a reset. That's another one. Voyboy going deep. He dodges out. No, it's going to be one shot coming in. Xpecial gets hit up into the fight. Cop big damage onto Ackerman to start this one off, and Voyboy is going to be running through.
I'm pretty low.
One at least.
We can maybe end.
Vasilii flash in. Got him. We can end. GG. Playoffs, baby. We did it.